within half of Oriental medicine. To answer the question, we should first know why liberty and democracy are controversial. When only I have a liberty, world is beautiful. Think traffic jam and the case without traffic jam. As you can see, if all have liberty, there's small liberty for corner of the group. But when only you have liberty, there's big liberty for corner of the group. So someone who worships liberty could be a selfish guy. For example, when a ball rolls to other ball, they make a turn. This means a change of momentum. And change of momentum is a result of integral of force applying to the ball. This means for the ball to have a lot of turns, it needs continuous force. And force is a differential result of potential energy, so ball needs a lot of fuel. But for closed system, it would lose energy and be slower at the end. So for every second, the ball loses force, and this loses its liberty as it has relation with other standing ball, and finally it seems to be standing. So to have liberty, there should be no ball on the table. Then the ball can go anywhere it wants to go. So liberty is a degree of freedom. Democracy. Then what is democracy? Democracy means equality, so everything should move in the same velocity. Let's see billiard ball again. As the ball has relation with others, the force gets distributed and finally all balls have same momentum and last. So democracy means network and equality. And let's see the degree of network. The entanglement entropy. Entanglement entropy is a good tool to measure how much two regions are entangled. The maximum entropy is limited, which is the value for duality to exist. And I'll show that what is entanglement entropy. Consider a quantum system that is divided into A and B, two parts such that the full Hilbert space can be represented as the tensor product of the Hilbert spaces of A and B. A typical wave function of this system is psi, in which A and B and the state psi are entangled, since psi cannot be written as a simple product of those A and B. Entanglement entropy is a measure to quantify how much A and B are entangled. Define the reduced density matrix of A by tracing of a B state is in psi. The entanglement entropy is defined as this. From the definition, an obvious corollary is this. Indeed, for any pure state psi, we can always write it as this. By geometric decomposition of psi into some complete set of S A and B, it follows that SA is SB. For AB composite system in a mixed state, in general we have SS not SB. In such a case, entanglement entropy typically contains classical statistical correlation of the mixed state in addition to quantum correlations. Here are some examples. A two-spin system. You can have a state that is not entangled. However, the state is entangled. For this state, the reduced density matrix for A is this shows entanglement entropy is this. We see as entanglement A has period of this. The minima are SA is 0 when theta is n pi over 2 and maxima are SA is log 2 when theta is n pi over 2 plus pi over 4 where n is integer. A maxima of state psi is most integer. We list some important properties of entanglement entropy as follows. Suppose A, B, C are three parts of the system without any intersection between any two of them. We have subadditivity and strong subadditivity. Entanglement entropy plays an important role in quantum information and quantum computation as it provides quantitative measure of quantum correlations that are not present classically. Entanglement entropy in many-body systems. Consider a system AB if Hamiltonian is H equals HA plus HB, then the ground state is unentangled. Moreover, starting with a general unentangled state, the system will remain unentangled. If we add coupling between A and B, H is HA plus HB plus HAB, then the ground state is generally entangled. Thirdly, starting with an initial unentangled state, entanglement will be generated during time evolution. In all realistic condensed matter systems and quantum field theories, HAB is local. Heisenberg model and 5 over 4 powered quantum field theory. Locality implies that the interaction only happens near the interface of A and B. So HAB only inverts degree of freedom near dA and dB. This has important implications. Locality of interactions. One finds in general in the ground state for a local Hamiltonian, entanglement entropy is given by this, where epsilon is the lattice spacing for CM system or short distance cutoff for quantum field theory, which characterizes the geometric width of interface. This formula shows that entanglement entropy between A and B is dominated by short-range entanglement near dA, where HAB is supported, while sexing appears to be universal, sharp is not. Depending on short-distance physics of specific systems, for the subleading order terms, the excitement of last decade on entanglement entropy shows that they come from large-range entanglement and can provide important characterization of a system. Characterize topological order 2 plus 1 dimension in typical gap systems. Ground state contains only short-range correlations. In topological order systems, ground state contains long-range correlation and not accessible via standard observables such as correlation functions of local operators. The entanglement entropy for such a system is this, where gamma is not zero is topological order, a constant independent of shape and size of A. To characterize the number of degree of freedom of a quantum field theory for a 1 plus 1 dimensional CFT, there's no leading contribution, and one finds this where C is central charge and L is the length of A. We know C contains the information of number of degree of freedom of a 2-dimensional CFT via Cardiff formula. For 2 plus 1 dimensional CFT, one finds this where gamma, depending on the shape of A, can be used to characterize the number of degree of freedom. Similar results can be found in other dimensions. Holographic entanglement entropy. Suppose we have a CFT with a gravity dual. How can we calculate entanglement entropy on gravity side? As shown in the picture below, we propose to find the minimal area surface of gamma which extends into the bulk with dA as boundary, and entanglement entropy is given by this. This formula was first guessed by Liu and these who were motivated by black hole entropy. Minimal area. There are some support for this formula. One satisfies the strong subjectivity conditions. 2. Reproduce known results about entanglement entropy. 3. Give many new results that are sensible. While easy to define, entanglement entropy is very complicated to compute for a general many-body system. Even for a free quantum field theory, the computation is highly non-trivial and often numerical calculations are needed. RT provides a very simple way to compute entanglement entropy in a class of strongly interacting quantum field theory. Here are proofs of strong subjectivity. In figure 3a, we can classify this. And by definition of minimal surface, which implies this. In figure 3b, we also have this. And by definition of minimal surface, this, which implies this. Now we can apply this formula to 1 plus 1 dimensional CFT whose duality is 3, where the matrix is. We know each CFT is characterized by a central charge C, density of state, and the trace normally gives this, where R is Ricci scalar. For holographic CFT, the central charge is given by this. On the gravity side, like Wilson rule, we consider constant time slice where the matrix is assume the minimal surface is a function of xc. The differential length of the surface is this, consider right half is this, and extreming it leads to the random answer, the half circle with C0. Finally, we get entanglement entropy, where epsilon is the cutoff to regularize the divergence. Clearly, this result agrees with the calculation from CST. In finite temperature, we may discuss the connection to black hole entropy. Consider the CFT on the circle. We should recover black hole entropy if we take A to be the whole boundary space between by definition. Because by definition, as the thermal entropy, and in this case, the reduced density matrix is the same as the real density matrix of A. Indeed, graphically, the minimal surface is just black hole horizon and black hole entropy is recovered. Generally, if the minimal surface is always perpendicular to boundary, area law can be proved in edges in arbitrary dimensions. RT formula not only provides the simple way to calculate entanglement entropy, but more importantly, it implies some connection between spacetime and geometricization of quantum entanglement, geometry, and quantum information. In the end, we may expect a unified paradigm. As you can see, if something is entangled maximum, then they have duality and many properties. But in our nature, there are so many objects which are organic. Then does the duality happens at those objects? No. But when two events are organic enough to have enough entanglement entropy, there are causality and inverse causality between them. Within inverse causality, we can expand the concept of duality, which means organic relation. The concept of inverse causality. This is a concept of feedback where two kinds of period exist, procession from A to B and procession from B to A. If first one is causality, then second one is inverse causality. And you can define inverse causality as organic relation. So, when you see inverse causality, you can conclude it is organic relation. Next, I will show that if two events are organic, the inverse causality should be true between those two events. If two events are organic enough, when we see one event, we can say the other event may happen. So within enough time, when one event happens, the other event may happen in a short time. So organic relation means inverse causality. So those are same. As a conclusion, organic relation involves inverse causality, and when there is maximum organic relation, causality and inverse causality happens at the same time, and we can call it as duality. This is a definition of organic in modern physics. So, maximum organic relation has a duality, organic relation has a causality and inverse causality. Organic is proportional to the entanglement entropy, which means a lot of network happens inside. And we will use the definition of organic relation in Oriental medicine. Within this definition, we can see true causality. Discussion. Democracy means organic relation which is proportional to entanglement entropy. Every organic relation can become democracy, and the maximum democracy always have duality. Liberty means the freedom degree of particle. Liberty is inverse proportional to democracy. The maximum liberty is only existence of the group's kernel, and as the total energy of system is constant, the democracy and liberty can be a mechanical energy. Potential energy is liberty, and kinetic energy is democracy. And maximum liberty can be a kernel of the system, and once liberty goes to democracy, the only way for liberty to show again is by incoming energy. So does our body. When the energy of our body is constant and the energy gets distributed equally, there's democracy which is irreversible and it means death. Maximum entanglement entropy means death. When the energy of our body is constant and the body has maximum liberty, the brain has a maximum liberty as kernel, and as time goes on, the energy gets distributed. And at the end, every organ has equal entropy and death exists. The entropy equation is like this. And the entropy is maximum when the distribution is all equal, and there is no way for entropy to decrease in closed system. And when human gets old enough, the entropy of the body gets maximum, and democracy happens in our body, and there is no freedom. It means the network in our body gets maximum. So as the network happens slower in our body, we get healthier. So brain should work less on our body, so the liberty of our body is necessary to live longer. And to do that, we should work with 50% power. So as organs get no effect from other systems, we live longer. And there's the drug which controls organs not to invade other organs. And this is how we make human healthier. A good example of it is green sharks, which have very slow metabolism. So come to our hospital. This would cure your any symptom and disease. This is panacea.